Welcome back to the Crypto Rainn channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we've got a very special project and guest to speak with us about the NFT and gaming space. Now, this is a launchpad coming out specifically designed to help new NFT projects and gaming projects or play-to-earn games that are coming in the space launch correctly. And they're affiliated with one of the biggest names in the space. So today I have Prakash, who's the CEO and co-founder of Enjin Starter, joining us. Let me bring him in. Prakash, are you there?
Hi, Rainn. How are you doing, man?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Very glad to have you.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Great. Now, the audience might know a little bit about Enjin Starter. I've talked about it in the past few days, but they might not have heard anything. This may be the first video they're catching about it. Could you give us kind of an idea what Enjin Starter's all about? And then if it's okay, I'll ask you kind of about your background and how you came to be and the project came to be.
Awesome. So Enjin Starter is focused on blockchain gaming as well as metaverses. We believe that the metaverses are going to change the way that we live, work, and play. We want to be in a key role identifying the right projects to accelerate, to place them on our launchpad, and to actually help them raise capital and build a community consecutively, right? So we see ourselves being a Kickstarter for blockchain gaming. Kickstarter naturally attracts people who are innovators or inventors themselves, and they want to see innovation flourish. And similarly, we are targeting gamers or people who are passionate about the gaming industry to support some of these projects at a very early stage, and also to participate in the growth of the project by giving feedback, by being part of the early community, to play these games, to share feedback with the game developers. And our vision is really to kind of build an ecosystem around it. Being affiliated with Enjin gives us a solid foundation to work with. Enjin, for those that don't know, is one of the earliest pioneers in blockchain gaming. They've been building in the space since they completed their ICO in 2017. They built a whole lot of infrastructure in blockchain gaming. And they are also currently building Infinity, which will roll out early next year. And that's going to be a new blockchain on Polkadot. There'll be focus on NFTs, and that's our big excitement. Working with the Enjin team allows us to actually explore the value that the ecosystem brings, the infrastructure that they have, and to actually educate projects on the benefits of being part of the Enjin ecosystem.
Perfect. Well, let me ask you, how did the team come together for this, and what kind of started the whole idea? And then, obviously, you have the affiliation of Enjin. Would love to hear how that came together.
Awesome. The bulk of the team is based here in Singapore, and a little known fact about Enjin is that they are actually a Singapore-based company. So we've had the experience of seeing them over the years, building through the bear market, and kind of really delivering products on a regular basis. And that's something that's really impressed us with them. I was fortunate enough to attend one of Enjin's first meetups in Singapore in 2018. So I got to see the team and know more about the project since then. And a lot of this actually came about once Infinity was announced. And after I read about Infinity and read the vision that the team had for Infinity in terms of building this super corridor for the NFT space, as well as to provide cross-chain compatibility for all NFTs, that's when we really got very excited. And we came up with this idea of building their ecosystem because I come from a background of working with startup ecosystems. I've built startup ecosystems as a volunteer for the Singapore government. I've also been hired as a consultant by the Austrian government, the Australian government, and I've helped set up ecosystems here in Singapore. And the vision really is to kind of explore how this model now can be replicated online, being global at get-go, And by leveraging a whole lot of technologies to actually facilitate this interaction, to actually accelerate projects at double or triple the speed that traditionally venture acceleration takes place. And it all begins with the community, right? It all begins with the
Mhm.
community being an integral part of the process, owning a piece of that action, coming on as ambassadors, coming on as scouts to actually identify some of these projects at a very early stage. So that's pretty much what happened. We met the Enjin team in May here in Singapore. We pitched to them the idea. They gave us our blessings, and they participated in our seed round. And they were joined by a group called Base Layer, which is started by Sashwat Gupta, and he kind of helped put everyone together. That's when we started the team. That's when we started building the platform. And now we are entering into September, where we're preparing for our public sale, and we are working towards launching by the end of September.
Okay. So the public sale would come out like mid September, probably on directly, or is it coming through any launch pads that you're able to announce?
Oh, great question. So we decided that we're not going to be exclusive launchpad at start. I think where we are doing it ourselves is we are doing a distributed IDO. We're starting off on the 17th of September with Genesis Shards. That's our pre-IDO, and it's designed to educate the market about what we're doing, as well as to create some hype for our own project. And then on the 30th of September, we're going to be hosting our own sale on our own launchpad. And we are also sharing our allocation with other partners who are also going to be having allocations to our IDO. So this way, we're going to come out with a very distributed IDO process. It's going to be something that we're going to be proposing to some of our clients, especially if we feel that it's relevant for them. So this way, a new project like us could get a wider spectrum in terms of exposure and attention, and this allows us to actually build a community. With our partners, why we're doing this is we're trying to create very strong and long-term partnerships where they would be able to bring games onto our platform, and we would also be able to share deal flow with them. And this way, we feel being ecosystem builders, we'll be building more bridges and we'll be growing, in a very collective manner.
Yeah. So, question, like stepping back a bit. So, your token itself will it work like other launch pads, where if you hold the token, you'll be able to get so much percent of allocation? Because when we were talking shortly before, you were sharing with me that you'll be launching not only token raises for projects, but also maybe land sales or NFT sales. So that would help them maybe if they have. I guess a lot of launchpads work like if you have this many tokens, you're in this tier group, and this many tokens, you're in this tier. So it's something similar to what we're used to.
Yes, yes, definitely. Except that projects don't necessarily need to issue a token with us.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, we could do NFT sale as a means to actually crowdfund for some of these game developers or creators. We would also be hosting virtual asset sales. So it could be virtual land, and it could be virtual game items. But with everything that we're doing, NFTs are going to be at the core of our strategy. So even for the traditional staking based models, we would be introducing things like founder tokens, which are primarily NFTs that actually recognize you for participating in a public sale, and it actually rewards you for holding on to those NFTs on a longer term basis. So one of the things that we're trying to change about the whole launchpad behavior is we want people to support projects at a public sale, but actually to also hold on to the tokens as long as they can. And the longer that they actually hold on to those tokens, they get privileges within the community, and they also get benefits like airdrops whenever that's possible. And this way, we can build a whole new value system where, by participating in a public sale, and also to stay the course with the project. Because some of the projects that we're working with are going to take some time to launch, and game development traditionally takes more time than most projects. And we want people to actually stay with the projects as long as they can. And we are going to be creating a whole range of incentives on our platform that facilitates that.
So that's fascinating. I like the idea of having some airdrops and stuff for those who participate and then hold on to it, and it just rewards those with that are essentially holders. So then you get more of that. I love this space that you're in. Obviously, I'm a big fan of gaming and in the integration of blockchain gaming. It seems like there's a couple areas within the space that blockchain will revolutionize things first, and one of those is DeFi. But the other one that's really been in focus right now is collectibles and games, right? Where you can actually own items in the video games and sell them for money, and sell them for whatever value that there is, and you create this free market where people can trade these assets that took time of playing the game or other things in order to accumulate. And that shouldn't be so revolutionary, but yet it is, right? Where you actually get to own the items that you earn in these games. Very exciting to me. So, what attracted you to this space?
Yeah, so this has been Enjin's vision right from day one, right? They've always, talked about how value creation it will be retained via NFTs. They were also the inventors, the creators of the ERC 1155 standard, which allows you to actually embed a fungible token into a non-fungible token. But however, the time for NFTs only just recently arrived, and we are definitely going to start seeing a lot more ways. And we believe that NFTs are this tool or this asset where value creation will now move from one game environment to another. And that's when the true digital ownership is going to come. We're excited because we're experimenting and working with gaming, which traditionally it's a very early adopter when it comes to technologies. The entire cryptocurrency industry was inspired by the gaming industry to begin with, and to be in this forefront, I think it's pretty exciting. And I think beyond that, I think the whole gamified experience is actually going to bring a whole new audience and participants into this ecosystem. Because personally, I believe that DeFi, has reached a certain level of maturity, and is plateauing in terms of growth, because it's still presented as a financial product. There's still a lot of technical information that's very financially driven. But now there's a whole gamified experience where you can form clans, you can form guilds, you can work together organically, and you can actually participate in a whole range of activities where you're converting, your time or your money or your resources or your talent into tangible assets. And I think what we've also seen with the whole play to earn space, especially in Southeast Asia, where it's created, ways that people can actually earn income to feed their family during a pandemic. It's one of the game changers personally for me, and I think that this trend is going to be continuing. It's going to create a whole lot of use cases, and we're definitely going to see a whole lot of new applications for the whole play to earn space.
Yeah, if anyone has any question or concerns about is there money here, like obviously it's risky like everything else, but I would just share a story with them. 2.5 years ago, there was this company releasing a game, and they already sold some NFTs, which I totally missed, and they had a land sale coming out, and it was like, well, I don't know if this is going to work out, but Animoca Brands had invested in them, so I thought, And so I bought some of these land chests, and they had Arctic and Mystic and Forest. And I spent about $4,000 on it, which for me at the time was a decent amount of money. That made up probably at the time about 10% of my portfolio. And that game is Axie Infinity. So I don't hold all those land pieces till today. In fact, I sold all of them off as they were going up because I was always worried at some point they might release another quarter of the map because they only sold a quarter of the map. And the minute they did that, it probably tanked land prices. But if I still held all those land prices today, and trust me, I made great returns on this. But what I was spending about $80 to $100 on to buy a Mystic land piece is going for $50 to $150,000 US today. So, I'm a crypto investor, but what I love about the gaming space is that because some of these games will go worldwide, there can be massive money in there. It doesn't mean there always will be. Another game that I put a few $1,000s into was Gods Unchained in their Genesis packs, and that's done almost nothing for me.
Right.
So that's why diversification matters. But and you don't know at the time. At the time, it actually seemed like Gods Unchained would do better, and Axie Infinity was it was a dud for a solid year and a half until all of a sudden it wasn't. And then it's actually outperformed just about everything else on the market.
This year.
Yeah, in the land, if you think about it, let's just round it up to $100, and let's say it was connected to a road, so it would sell for $100,000. So that's 1,000x returns over about 2.5 years' time. I mean, Microsoft never did that, and this is a video game.
Agreed. And beyond making money is all that impact that it's delivering, right? The whole ecosystem that's being built on it, the scholars. I think that to me is phenomenal. I mean, definitely from an investment perspective, is done phenomenally well. But I think the impact angle, the ability for people in developing markets to find a source of income during these tough periods, I think is, to me, the biggest value that it's bringing into the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that as that kind of catches on. And so exciting to see where this will go.
Awesome. Yeah, we're very passionate about that space.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you joining us. When I heard about your project and what you were doing in your affiliation to Enjin, I had to have you on as a guest because super passionate about this space for the fun of it, but also for the returns of it. And good, solid projects tend to lead to good, solid returns. So thank you for joining us, Prakash.
Oh, thanks for having me on the show, Rainn. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going to send everyone else to this wrap that I had created specifically for my audience that talks about the principles of investing. And some absolutely love it because the principles absolutely hold true. They're the sound principles of investing. And if they listen to the wrap, it helps on the just reinforcing the principles that helped me become financially independent because of cryptocurrency investing in just the past 4 years.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and a feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking at this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. In 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. The goal with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.